Welcome back to another episode of Vintage and Voltage. I have my truck back. God, have I missed driving this thing. It is so much fun. So yeah, we obviously from the last episode, I'm sure you saw, took it to Cars and Coffee in Loveland and had a really great time. The truck had a great reception. People seemed to really like this thing. And it rode okay. It was way too low. The oil pan on this truck sits really low because I got the engine positioned as far back and as far down as I could possibly manage, just for handling purposes and packaging. And when I took it to the alignment shop, they even mentioned the springs are just too soft and it's sitting too low. We had them cranked, the coilovers were cranked basically as far up as they were comfortable with, and he actually said that it's kind of on the verge of spring bind. So I ordered a set of 10-inch long instead of 9-inch long springs, and we went from 450 pounds up to 550 pounds per spring. Honestly, I probably could have gone even heavier than that. It rides really nice right now. Actually, it feels terrific. This spring is probably for like a daily driver or a just like a sporty little canyon carver. It's perfect. So I'm happy with it right now, but if I want to do something a little bit more performance oriented, maybe like a track day or something along those lines, I may actually need to bump up another 100 pounds or so in the spring just to get a little bit more stiffness out of it. This is still pretty soft. So 550 pounds, not as heavy as I thought it would be, but it's okay for now. The rear suspension is still way too stiff. So when you go over a bump, you kind of get like a nice, it feels fine. It feels good. You go over the bump in the front, and then as soon as the rear tires hit it, it's like you get a big bang and the whole truck kind of jolts up because the leaf springs are so stiff. So the rear suspension is a higher priority than I expected. I also have a much bigger problem than the ride quality in the rear. With the front suspension all sorted out, the steering is terrific. I feel so much more confident in the truck the way it is. But it has now kind of shown the weaknesses of the rear. Despite the pseudo traction bar that I have in the back, when I lowered the rear end with the lowering blocks, it knocked off the geometry of that thing. So I think I'm gonna have to rebuild it, because now I have real bad wheel hop anytime I'm on the throttle. So I kind of have to drive gingerly or else this thing shakes itself to pieces and I don't want to break anything. So that's a problem. But, so yeah, next winter, we're gonna have to do the rear coilover conversion so that this whole thing is complete, and to get rid of that and get the rear end kind of under control again. But for now, I'm gonna enjoy the truck. Which brings me to the next thing. The engine came with a Spectre air filter on it, like when I bought the engine, and I just kind of left it because obviously doing an LS swap is a hugely expensive thing to do, and it was one thing I didn't have to buy. I already had it. But I don't trust Spectre very much, and this is an expensive engine and I really don't want to take chances, so I bought a K&N. It's a tried and true brand. It's an oiled filter, which definitely does a better job of capturing all the dust and debris and everything else. And then I also added a little sock to it just to keep all the really big stuff out and make it easier to clean, and so I don't have to clean it as often. So I'm going to put that on today. That way we can kind of have a little more trust in my air filter. So we're going to pop that on real quick. Then this weekend we're off to another Cars and Coffee and enjoying the truck a little more.